Hello, I am Brian.
Hey, Keith.
I'm Joanna.
Good evening, everyone. Can you imagine a world where you and your loved ones don't have access to safe birth control, contraception, and, if needed, an abortion for anyone in your family, or for your personal nuclear family yourselves? It's only been 50 years since abortion was made legal, and only been 45 years since Roe v. Wade was established as a law of the land by the Supreme Court. So your grandparents can. Your parents probably can. Imagine a time where if a pregnancy was threatening the life of the mother, she would have to go outside of the law and outside of the normal safe practices of medicine to save her own life. I am a believer in safe access to birth control, and that's why I am a supporter of Planned Parenthood. For those of you who don't know Planned Parenthood, we'll talk briefly about the organization, what they do, and why it's so important to support them right now. But I just want to speak briefly about why this is such an important cause to me. I, as I mentioned, believe in this cause, and I have put my money where my mouth is, both donating funds to support clinics locally here in Maryland, as well as political actions of Planned Parenthood nationwide. I've donated time, having been a volunteer for Planned Parenthood of Maryland, and having family within my own family working for Planned Parenthood. So this is a cause I believe deeply in. I have been around it for a long time, and I believe I can speak intelligently about it, as well as giving you a reason to support them. So some of the issues right now that we're facing in the reproductive justice world are that we have made so many gains over the years, and we're starting to slowly lose the gains that we've made. Some of the gains that we have made, and the Guttmacher Institute is a wonderful resource to look at actual facts on the issue. That's part of the cause that we're fighting for, is actually understanding what abortion means and how it impacts people's lives. As you can see here, these are outcomes averted by publicly funded centers with contraceptive services. So since having federal funding for publicly funded centers, we've reduced the number of unintended pregnancies 1.2 million, the number of unintended births. We've actually reduced the number of abortions by being able to provide people with with birth control and contraception prior to needing an abortion. These are the kind of things you won't hear from the other side, and this is the kind of work, it takes a lot of work to get this information out there, to fight through the noise, and that's the work that Planned Parenthood does. Again, you might hear about abortion and Planned Parenthood and think that they cost taxpayer money. We shouldn't be sending our money to Planned Parenthood. Money spent at Planned Parenthood actually results in cost savings. This is the amount of savings on an annual basis for maternity and birth-related costs, both in the state of Maryland as well as in the nation at large. Almost $11 million annually. Miscarriage and ectopic pregnancy costs, almost $300,000 nationally. And abortion costs, down. I don't know where you would hear that abortion costs actually go down the more money you give to Planned Parenthood. It's certainly not from the opponents of Planned Parenthood, and that is again why you should support the work that Planned Parenthood does. Because right now, Planned Parenthood and these rights that we have fought for generations are under attack. This is a map of the United States that shows where in the country people do not have access to safe reproductive clinics and that talk about contraception and that provide abortion services. Everyone deserves this. Every state needs this, but right now there's an inequality in our country, and this inequality touches reproductive justice. If you're in the right zip code, you get these services that we've agreed are important, that we've agreed reduce cost. But if you happen to live in Wyoming or Missouri, you may not live in a county that has an abortion clinic available to you. The climate is bad right now. there are lots of states that are hostile to abortion efforts. And the only way that we can fight against 29 states that are considered hostile or extremely hostile is to support an organization that isn't fighting just on the local level, but is fighting locally, statewide, and nationwide to support these services. The only organization that has been doing that for 100 years is Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood knows the value of this fight because they've been doing it for so long. They know that it's up to us right now to lock in these rights and ensure that these gains are held in a climate that is pushing back and trying to roll back progress on a state and local level, as well as on a very well-funded national level. The only organization, if you care about having a healthy family, care about the women in your life and ensuring that they have reproductive justice services, then Planned Parenthood is the organization that you need to support. How can you do this support? Not everyone can give money. You might be working 3 jobs just to survive. That's understandable. If you can give a little bit of money right now, $20.18 for the year 2018, to support either your local clinics or to support the Planned Parenthood Action Fund, to support the nationwide political effort to fight back on a judicial and legislative front, that's wonderful. If not, maybe just supporting your local clinics, volunteering, being a clinic escort. Any of those are very important ways to support. However, the number one way to support this is to vote come November. The politicians that represent you must represent your values, and your values must include support for Planned Parenthood if you care about the health of the women in your life. I would ask you to support Planned Parenthood. Please come up to me after the speech, and thank you very much for your time in listening to this very important cause. It's near and dear to my heart.